Coaches, you are here watching this video right now because you are posting content, but it's not landing clients. I understand where you're at. It's super frustrating. So we're going to break it fully down in this video. I'm going to give you all the detail possible to make sure that you walk away successful and you see wins in your own business. And for you, it's like right now you're posting content and it's not leading to clients, but you're looking to get more high paying clients. You want to grow your income. You want to have more freedom for you, your family, but you're running dry in terms of your lead generation sources. You're just not getting people reaching out to you. The people you might reach out to, it's just not really landing anywhere or going anywhere. They're not actually joining your program. And it's super frustrating. And right now, you might be posting a lot and you might be posting a lot of content, even posting daily, but no one's reaching out to you, right? Or you don't know what exactly to post to actually get clients to reach out to you, potential clients to reach out to you, or to just get people interested in paying you, all right? Or you're thinking like, you're giving away all the free info. You're giving away all the value. You hear this crazy word on the internet, give away value, but it's actually not leading to clients buying and joining your program. And it could be stressful. It could be super frustrating. I was definitely there before. When I didn't have the right systems or guidance, I was 100% there. I was stressed. I was spinning my wheels. I was devastated. I'm like, where are the fruits of my labor? It's not landing clients and my income is not growing. If anything, I'm losing money, I'm losing time, and I'm wasting effort. And same thing with my client, Anthony. He joined the program and we actually put an installation of our lead generation systems into his business. Before we did that, he was struggling. He was posting 3 times a day, reels on his Instagram. He was reaching out to a bunch of people, 50 to 100 people per day, and literally no one was signing up. When we installed this system I'm about to teach you, in 4 days of installation, he signed 2 high-paying clients. So I want you, coaches, to see the same success. I want you to see the same wins, and let's get into it. All right, so first of all, we have to break down the online coaching funnel. All right, if we use our imagination and we just write and draw a funnel, like what does a funnel look like? All right, it's like it's wider at the top and then it funnels down. So online coaching has its own specific funnel broken up into 3 specific parts. You have top of funnel, you have middle of funnel, and then you have bottom of funnel. Because I want you to succeed, we're gonna go into detail when it comes to every section of the funnel. We're gonna break it down. So if you implement, and that's the key, you gotta implement. You can't just watch this and be like, that's cool, and do nothing. Something has to change in order for something to change. So we're gonna break it down. First, we have top of funnel. Top of funnel is where awareness is built. People just find out about what you do and you're just educating them about what you do. They learn more about you. They get to know, like, and trust you. They see who you work with. They see your posts. So what do we do with top of funnel, right? We should be doing one main thing that basically leads into, all right, how you should actually be doing it 3 different ways. So the one main thing you should be doing is posting free content on social media. All right, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, picking your platforms that you should post. And now how we do this, we're gonna break it up into 3 different ways. All right, the type of content you should be posting is problem-solving content, storytelling content, and then client results content. All right, so problem-solving content, coaches, it's literally posting free value, all right, that overcomes your audience's biggest struggles and pains. All right, because if you solve your audience's problems for free, when they run into more problems, which they will, especially with fitness, everyone kind of hits that plateau, they're going to trust you to overcome that stressful plateau in your paid program. All right, so it's going to build a lot of trust. And now, what can we do in terms of posts to actually develop some problem-solving reels, videos, pictures, whatever it is, I want to actually share a couple hooks. And hooks are basically just like the headlines of your videos and your posts. So let's just pretend your niche, who you're helping, is corporate men that want to lose weight. All right. And so what we could say is you can make a video and literally start it like, why you still have stubborn belly fat, busy guys in corporate fields is because you're doing misconception that they think they have to do. Okay, so we're literally calling them out. Why you still have the belly fat, busy corporate men, that's a better way to say it. All right, why you still have the belly fat, busy corporate men is because you're doing, and then enter misconception they think that they have to do, right? Because you're doing hours of the elliptical, because you're doing hours of the treadmill, because you are doing all the restrictive diets in keto. All right, so why you still have stubborn belly fat, busy corporate men is because you're doing hours of cardio and you should actually be doing this, and then you give them the value. All right, so you're calling them out, you're solving their first few problems for free, so they come back to you later because they trust you so much. They helped you so much, right? You built a lot of goodwill with them, all right? And in return, they're like, this coach helped me so much with his free stuff. I can only imagine how good his paid stuff is. All right? Another example, right? If you're a busy corporate man that has a corporate job, actually, let's start this over, all right? If you're a busy guy that has a corporate job, stop doing hours of the elliptical and do this instead. So it's kind of similar hooks, right? A lot of the times you want to call out your niche in the hook and then call out some misconceptions they're doing, because you want to actually create a pattern interrupt in their brain, right? Where it's like, oh, I thought I was doing the right thing doing the elliptical. What's Coach Danny have to say about this? And they're going to actually watch that whole video because you called out what they think they have to be doing, and now you're going to give them the right answer. Okay? And again, I'll say it again. If you're a busy guy that has a corporate job, stop doing enter misconception. Do this instead. And then within that video, you can sprinkle in client proof, right? Do this instead. My client John right here, you could show a picture. My client John right here lost 12 pounds following this 3-step method I'm about to teach you. Let's get into it. And then boom, you could get into it. Resistance training, right? Protein with every single meal, whatever the value is. Don't make the value boring. Don't make the value something they can just like look up. Make it interesting, make it unique. I always like to tell my coaches that I'm working with is give them the solution they didn't know they needed to hear. Because then they'll be like, wow, they'll separate you from the crowd. The audience will. They'll think you're different. That's good. So problem solving content. Again, this is top of funnel. Next with top of funnel is storytelling content. So let's just keep that same niche, busy corporate men that want to lose weight. And let's say, just as an example, right, you're the content creator and you were someone that worked corporate. And this could go with busy moms, this can go with any niche, right? But let's just say, right, you have a story that can actually relate to your niche. What you can say as a hook or a headline for your video, I was 50 pounds heavier showing up to my corporate job and I was exhausted all day. That's the headline. And then you kind of just get into the story of, you almost want to make it like a superhero story where there's basically like a rock bottom, what you did to fix it, and then it's your come up story. So you share, like, I was low on energy, sluggish, but then I started having more whole foods, I started working out, XYZ, and now I lost the 15 pounds, I feel amazing, I'm changing lives all over the world. Now you want to make it a bit more detailed, but that's kind of how it works, right? You start with the rock bottom, you share kind of what you did to help it, and then boom, you are crushing it now. All right, you're crushing it. So storytelling is going to be important. And the last thing with top of funnel is going to be client results. This is a big one. Right now, I'm recording this video in 2025, at the end of 2025, and we are in a trust recession. Not a lot of people trust each other anymore, which I get. There's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of BS. There's a lot of coaches, frankly, that don't freaking care about their clients. And so if you share client wins, it's going to show that you care. It's going to build some FOMO, fear of missing out. Okay, and also it just builds that trust, like, all right, this coach is giving value, I actually know about them, and they know what they're doing. They're getting client results, right? So what you could say with your client results post, you always want to start with the headline of the client, the specific results that they got, I should say. So the headline should be the specific results that they achieved. All right, what you could say, as an example, John lost 18 pounds and got rid of his stubborn belly fat while working 50 hours per week. Now, why we say the 50 hours per week is because, think about it, we're targeting the corporate men, just as an example. So a lot of people will see John's transformation and they might think, oh, well, he might not have a job like me. He might not have a family family obligations like me. So we can say, to kind of negate that, is like, John lost 18 pounds and got rid of his stubborn belly fat while being a busy dad and working 50 hours per week at his corporate job. Boom. Now the audience in your niche is like, John has my exact situation. If he can do it, I can do it too. This is the coach for me. All right, so I hope that is key. I hope that makes sense. That's very important. If you're doing the top of funnel correctly, that's going to lead to success in the rest of the funnel. Now we're going to get to middle of funnel. Middle of funnel is nurture. All right, say it out loud with me. Scream it. I don't care if you're in a coffee shop. Nurture. All right, you got to nurture your audience. Okay, because if you are selling a high ticket program for fitness coaching, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a package, to just think your audience is going to watch some reels and be interested in paying you $5,000, that's very optimistic, but it doesn't always work out like that. So what you want to do is create long form content just like this. I'm doing it right now, but I want to give you value. I actually care. So how you can do this, you can nurture your audience, and then what you can do is, while you're actually posting not even problem solving, but all of top of funnel content, you can redirect people, all right, to your middle of funnel, like your YouTube. You can post stories about redirecting people to your YouTube. You can, in the DMs, send long form content so it more nurtures your audience and it gets them to trust, like, and know you even more, okay? And you might have heard this before. If not, it's super helpful. But Google, back in the day, did a study and showed us that it takes about 7 hours of exposure before someone buys a high ticket product, all right? 7 hours of exposure to the product or to the person, to the service. And so if you think you're gonna fill up all that time with reels, it's gonna take years. But if you make long form YouTube content, or you could use other softwares, but YouTube is a good place because it's a good searchable engine that people could actually look up. It's going to actually really help if you have long form content, because it's gonna fill up that 7 hours a lot quicker, okay? Now, hope that makes sense. Now you're probably asking, okay, well, what do I even talk about with long form content? And when we say long form, usually about 8 to 30 minutes is a good place for long form content, right? Like, I'm in the middle of this video. I'm not sure how long we are right now, but it's probably going to be in between that range. I do have videos that go even more in depth that are over an hour, right? I have a video in my bio right now. At this time, if you're watching, maybe I changed it a bit, but right now, at this current time, at the end of November, I have 2025, I have a video that's literally in my Instagram bio, and it's an hour and 10 minutes where I just basically teach you how to grow your business to $10,000 per month, and I give away all the goodies. I give all the sauce. I hold nothing back. It's long because it's so in depth. All right, but just an example. So top of funnel, short form content, usually about 30 to 60 seconds is good for a video. And then middle of funnel, like 8 to 30 minutes. All right, now what are we gonna talk about? With your middle funnel, what you wanna be sharing is more about your story. You wanna definitely be talking more about client results. You wanna be breaking limiting beliefs. You wanna talk about deep pains and deep desires of your niche. And you wanna be talking about your own system that you use with your coaching program, all right? And you can do all that one at a time or in one video, right? So here are 3 different topics you can use. My 5-step process to help busy corporate men lose 30 pounds without restrictive diets. Again, using that same niche we've been using, right? My 5-step process to help busy corporate men lose 30 pounds without restrictive diets. Okay? And usually how you can set up these videos is first thing, you want to, like this, it's a checklist. So I actually want you, I didn't know I was going to talk about this, but now that I'm thinking about it, this is really going to help you out. How you want to structure these videos, okay, is first talk about, make sure they know they're in the right place. All right, so as soon as you start the video, listen, if you are a busy corporate man and you are low on energy, you've been feeling out of shape, overweight, like let them know they clicked on the right video. Call them out. You are in the right place if you are XYZ. Okay? Then bring up their deepest pains. That's number 2, deepest pains. And right now, busy men, you're probably struggling with low energy, right? You're huffing and puffing, out of breath when you tie your shoes and going up and down the stairs. And like, you would rather jump off a cliff than take off your shirt in public. I get it, I was there before. So you go into their deepest pains. After that, you want to share a client transformation, right? One of my clients, John, was in the same exact situation as you. And what I'm about to share in this video is a 3-step process that helped John lose 20 pounds, and he feels amazing with his wife and kids, and we're going to do the same thing for you. I'm going to teach you that 3-step process. And then you get into the value, all right, you get into the process, and it should be, again, we talked about it before, a solution, all right, solutions, plural as well, okay, that your audience didn't even know they needed. And then after that, after you give the value, there should be a call to action. All right, so listen, if you are a busy guy and this helped, and you want some extra one-on-one help with actually losing weight, feeling healthier, and minimizing future health risks so you can live a long, healthy life for you and your family, there is a link in the description of this video. You can book in a time and chat with me. We could have a one-on-one session to see if I can help, and we'll go from there and we'll help you lose some weight and feel better. All right, have an amazing day. So that's how you should actually structure it, okay? That's how I structure my videos. It works, okay? And definitely for your niche, your audience, it will work, okay? Now, let's keep going with the hooks. So we talked about my 5-step process to help busy corporate men lose 30 pounds without restrictive diets. Let's say you talk about that and then you use that format we just went over to make your video. Perfect, perfect. Second hook or headline topic could be what I do if I had 30 minutes a day to lose 30 pounds as a busy executive. Again, kind of sharing like what you would do, your knowledge in a position of your niche. Third thing, 5 fat loss mistakes busy corporate men make when trying to lose weight while working 60+ hours per week. Again, calling them out, giving them value, and you could follow that same format we just went over, okay? Letting them know they're in the right place, calling out their deepest pains, client result, client transformation, giving them a solution or solutions that they didn't know they needed, and then boom, call to action, okay? Now, if you're doing all that correctly, more leads, more people will be interested in your stuff. They will be interested in what you do. They're going to reach out to you, or if you're reaching out to them, they'll be more interested. And then what you want to do from there, bottom of funnel, is the DM process, having conversations. Mostly, it'll probably be in the DMs. It could be through text message and that type of stuff, but most ideal, you're on social media. So, a DM process, okay? And then it will actually get into a sales call. So, let's talk about what that looks like. For a DM process, I give my clients plug-and-play scripts that they literally copy and paste. It works like a charm, and they get on calls. If you do want a very specific script that will help you, you could just message me on Instagram. I'm not going to gatekeep anything. You can message me on Instagram, the words DM script, and I'm going to send it to you for free. I have a document, I'll send it to you, it's no problem, all right? I'm not gonna say, plug in your email if you, I'll send it over if you want it, all right? Message me on Instagram, at DannyCavs4, Danny, C-A-V-S-4, I will send you the scripts, okay? Now, if you just want like a shortened version, right, what you can do is this checklist, the specific process I'll send you if you want it, it definitely works, but if you just like want a checklist that will help, first, what you should do in the DMs is find out their main fitness goals. What main fitness goals are they working towards? Next thing, number 2, is find out why those goals are actually important to them. Number 3, find out what's holding them back from achieving those goals that they mentioned. Number 4, find out how long they've been struggling with that problem. Okay, and you could see, coaches, we're building a gap of like their goals, where they want to go, to where they are right now, what they're struggling with. What's going to bridge that gap is a call with you. All right, so then after step 4, right, once you figure out how long they've been struggling for, which widens that gap, it's probably months, it's probably years, it widens that gap. Okay, you would just want to say, first, like, validate, acknowledge they've been struggling, and then just say, would you want some help with, and then enter their main goals that they mentioned. So this is basically like a soft call to action to ask, like, do you want to work with me? It's kind of like, if they're open to like help, then that's kind of like a soft yes, like, hey, I want to work with you. Okay? Once they're like yes or sure or awesome, let's do it, what you could say, we want to get on the call, you'll say this. Cool. I have a little bit of time this week. I wouldn't mind having a quick chat, strategizing the best ways for you to enter their main goals, right? Lose 30 pounds, tone up, build the glutes, whatever it is, right? Why we say it like this, coaches, there's a few different reasons why we do it. All right, okay, let's break it down. Cool. I have a little bit of time this week. That makes you seem exclusive. Right? Your calendar is just not like, I'm ready for anything. No, like, you're busy. You have a lot of things going on. You have clients. You have leads that are interested. You might have a waiting list. You have a little bit of time this week. I wouldn't mind. So now it's like we're doing them a favor, having a quick chat, having a quick chat. We're not going to have a long call. We want them to save time. Have a quick chat, strategizing the best ways for you to, and then enter their goals. Keep their vision, keep their goals and desires in the forefront of their mind. It's beautiful. Cool. I have a little bit of time this week. I wouldn't mind having a quick chat, strategizing the best ways for you to lose those 20 pounds, tone up, and have more energy for your family. Sound good? Question mark. Then you, at the end, sound good? Question mark. They'll say yes. You'll say perfect. Just to make things a bit easier, I could send over a calendar link so you can pick the best time for you. Usually calendar links, that's the way I kind of teach my clients. If you want to book it manually, ideally you want to give them like a few different times that they can choose from. And you can be like, perfect, I have tomorrow at these, and then you lay out 3 different times. Which one works best for you? All right, and then you can lock in a time manually. I personally like a calendar link. It keeps everything very simple and organized. And if you're doing follow-ups in a few months, if they don't buy your program, you could keep everything. Everything's like documented. You could go back to that calendar and see like, oh, John booked a call 2 months ago. Let's follow up with him again. See if he's still struggling with losing those 20 pounds. All right, so perfect. Just to make things a bit easier, I could send over calendar links so you can pick the best time for you. Again, we're doing them a favor. We're sending them this link. You could pick the best time for you. Does that work for you? Question mark. They say yes. You send the call link, and then you'll say this. Here you go, name. Here you go, John. You can book in a time above. Then let me know when you're all set, because I'm going to send you a free training that's going to help you get a head start with enter their goals, losing the 20 pounds, having more energy for your family, whatever it is. Why we do it this way is because we want to give them an incentive, coaches, to book the call. Okay? It's like, you can book the call and then I'm going to give you the free goodies. Okay? It's kind of like when we tell a dog to sit, they sit first and then we give them the treat. We don't just give them the treat and then tell them to sit, because they're just going to take the treat and they're going to peace. They're going to be out. So same thing, it's like we want your prospects, your leads, potential clients to book the call first, and then we have some free goodies for them. So it builds that incentive, it conditions them to book the call first, and then we help them out. We send them some free value based on their goals, okay? Boom! Okay. We feeling this? We feeling this? If this is helping, maybe in the comments just drop a thumbs up. Whatever you want to do. If not, it's okay too. Let's keep going. We're almost done. So you book the call. Now we're on the call. 2 phases to the call. Discovery phase and then the program overview. First, in the discovery phase, we're asking specific questions to actually build a gap of where they want to go to where they are right now. So in the beginning of the call, you just want to build some rapport. Hey, John, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Tell me about your day. build some rapport. I saw you went to California last week with your family. I saw that on your Instagram. How'd that go? Be a human. Don't fake it either. Like, be a human. Okay, and then you want to have a pre-frame. So John, usually the way I run these calls is I'm just going to ask you some questions to see what you're struggling with, what your goals are. I want a better idea of where you're at, and this will help me see if what I do here in my one-on-one mentorship is a good fit for you. And then we can see if it aligns. Does that work for you? Okay, so you want to pre-frame what's going to kind of go on in the call. Now, you might have heard before, listen, John, you might pre-frame, be like, at the end, I just want a yes or no, nothing in between. Like, I only have 2 spots left. I found that puts the guard up when it comes to the call, and it kind of causes some friction. Okay? Again, we're in a trust recession. If you do that shit, the trust is probably going to go down, and they're going to think, all right, this guy might just want my wallet. All right, it might work for some people, but the way I teach it with myself, my coaches, if they're in and you do the discovery and the program overview correctly, and you just do a light pre-frame in the beginning, you don't have to be so hard and be like, I either need a yes or a no, and like nothing in between. Shh. Is that what you would say to like one of your best friends? Is that what you would say to like someone, a family member, right? Like if they really F with you, if they really like you, they're gonna buy. So if we do the rest of the call properly, you don't need to do all that sales shit, all right? Now, pre-frame. You do it. Now after the pre-frame, you get into the questions, okay? First thing, again, we're building that gap of where they want to go to where they are right now. Ask what was the motive to book in for the call, all right? They'll start selling you why they're there, right? So, John, like what was the motivation to book in and like really want to start losing these 20 pounds? Got it. Okay, awesome. And then ask more about their goals. What other goals do they have? All right, then you get that piece of information. Then we want to ask, what have you been doing to try and lose the 20 pounds, whatever their goals are? What have they kind of been doing? We ask this because it's probably nothing or it's stuff that isn't working. So now we're building that gap, right? The motive, the goals, what they've been doing, and then we ask the struggles. So what are your biggest struggles, or what are your biggest obstacles, John, to really losing those 20 pounds and having more confidence in yourself? Okay, so now we have the goals, top of mountain, what they've been doing, and their struggles. We're building that gap. Okay, now to make it even spicier, all right, we're widening that gap. You might have heard before, like sell the vacation, not the plane ride. We want to ask vision questions, okay? Like what we can say is, John, totally get it. And so I'm curious, when you do lose the 20 pounds and you have more energy for you and your family, what will change in your life for the better, like once we do get there? Be like, oh, well, I'm going to wake up happy. I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to look in the mirror and be satisfied for the first time in my life. All these things. Now they're thinking about those things. And then we can ask a consequence question. You love that, John. Amazing. I just got to ask, like, have you ever thought maybe like, what if nothing changes? And then 2 years go by and you're at the same weight, same energy levels, and you're still stuck? What happens then? And you can see my tonality, I'm softening up a bit, being more empathetic. We could probably do a whole nother YouTube training just on tonality. If you want that, you can message me. We could talk about it. But let's focus on this first of all right? Like what if nothing changes? Okay, now the gap is like really wide. We have them in the painful state, and also not just painful, but they're thinking about their desires as well. With these questions, they now know that the pain of staying stuck is a lot worse than the pain of just taking action and paying you for your program. Okay? So they're in pain, but they also have these desires of like, I want to take this vacation, right? Meaning like we're selling the vacation, not the plane ride. Like I want to take the vacation means like I want to be 20 pounds down. I want to have more energy for my family. I want to look at my daughter and we go to the park and we play soccer and I'm not out of breath dying of a heart attack. All right, they're thinking about these things. And then last one, all right, the nail in the coffin. The nail in the coffin is asking why now, and then you want to label them, right? So everything, you ask the questions, everything is making sense. And so, John, I want to ask too, like, why do you feel like now, today, in this moment, you are finally ready to lose the 20 pounds, have more energy for your family and your daughter? Tell me why it's important now, because I'll be honest, I take a lot of these calls, I talk to a lot of people that just put it off. And they have to think about it, they have to talk to other people about their decisions, and they just put it off, and frankly, it kills me, but they stay overweight. And so, John, why are you ready now to finally take action and become the best version of yourself? Okay? Think about that. We do this to label them because at the end of the call, it's going to be near impossible for them to say, "Oh, I have to think about it. I have to go talk to my wife," because we just labeled them as someone that doesn't do that shit. Okay? And they're an action taker, and people love staying consistent with their identity. And we just labeled their identity, and they're going to want to stay consistent with that. That's the pre-sell right there. If they're all in on that question, it's going to be a lot easier when you actually pitch the price. Okay, so hope that makes sense. Hope that is clear. Once you have all that info and you ask those questions, you are good to present your program. All right, John, definitely. I think what we have to offer here with this XYZ program is definitely going to help you out. What I can do, I could just share my screen. I could go over the program. We could see if it aligns. We could see if it's a good fit and go from there. Boom. 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 Okay? Now, what you want to do is you want to make a program overview. You can make a Canva presentation. You can make Google Slides. I honestly use Google Docs, but with Google Docs, you want to make sure when you're presenting, you're zooming in so it looks official and they don't see the font, they don't see your other tabs. Make it look nice. And then with this program overview, you want to have a title of the program. Okay, so make it specific to the niche. Okay, corporate men fat loss system. Something specific to the niche. Okay, and something specific with their goals. All right, then after that, you want to have a 3-pillar system. And with that 3-pillar system, again, make it specific to their goals. 3-pillar fat loss system. 3-pillar booty builder system. 3-pillar muscle accelerator system. Okay, that's where you could go over nutrition, workouts, accountability, because those are usually the 3 main aspects of fitness. But you don't want to just say, coaches, yeah, I have a workout and nutrition and accountability plan for you. $5,000. It's just not going to work. All right. When you explain your program, you wanna write this down because it's important. You want to use FAB. This is an acronym. It stands for Feature, Advantage, Benefit. When you are describing your program, okay, you want to go over the feature, and then you want to explain the advantage, and then you want to explain the benefit. Concisely, cut the fat. Don't be talking for hours. All right, the person that talks the most on the sales call loses. If you talk too much, you're not going to get the sale. All right, you're a listener on the call. You're not a yapper. All right, so when it comes to FAB, Feature, Advantage, Benefit, so John, first what you're going to get is a tailored, non-restrictive nutrition plan. Let's say we're going over nutrition, a tailored, non-restrictive nutrition plan. That's the feature. That's the name of the feature. And this is actually going to allow you to still have your favorite foods. That's the advantage. You can still have your favorite foods. And then the benefit. So you can lose those 20 pounds, have more energy, and you could go finally play in the park with your daughter without getting out of breath and dying of a heart attack. All right, maybe at the end that's a bit too much, but you get it. You're explaining the benefit, okay? So FAB, you want to do that with workouts, you want to do that with accountability, the whole process where you have to explain stuff. So you go over the 3-pillar system, and then you go over your transformation pathway. All right, this is fancy term for you go over your coaching process. Right, so now you could actually dive a bit deeper into the one-on-one workouts, the video demonstrations, nutrition. Maybe you have a support group, you get one-on-one calls, whatever it is. Now, very, 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 very important. You don't want to get too caught in the feature stuff. Right? Because a lot of coaches, they make the mistake of going over the transformation pathway and they're like, you're going to get the best workouts. I'm going to lay out your sets and reps and you're going to use terminology that's going to confuse them. Keep feature, advantage, benefit when you're going over your transformation pathway. All right? When you show your coaching structure, where it's like you show them, like I have my basically clients who are coaches, they show them their own like workout calendar, they show them deeply the non-restrictive nutrition plan, they go over the accountability system, all that stuff. So it's basically taking the 3-pillar process and then breaking it down into a coaching process. We call it the transformation pathway, but it's not just like feature, because they're not gonna buy that shit. You want to go over the feature, talk about the advantage, go over the benefit. Transformation pathway, okay? Next thing, this is super helpful, lay out the roadmap. Coaches, lay out the roadmap and break it up into phases. So start with like, you can call it the fat loss, the busy corporate man fat loss roadmap, right? You want to give these things in your program overview unique names because that will make you one of one. They can find a workout plan on ChatGPT or Google, but the busy man corporate fat loss roadmap, you're not going to find anywhere else. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then with the roadmap, we want to lay it out into phases, right? Phase 1 is the Jumpstart Accelerator. All right, this is just an example. Phase 1, Jumpstart Accelerator. This is when you get onboarded, you get in the community, you start losing fat fast, and you see wins, and you're feeling a lot more motivated, have way more energy. Right? Phase 2 is going to be our fat loss phase. All right, this is where you XYZ, you start losing stubborn belly fat around your chest and your arms and your back. Phase 3 is the muscle builder accelerator phase. That's when you're going to start toning up, right? So you bring them through specific phases. Okay? Usually it's like the jump starter, all right, then their main goals, okay, like fat loss accelerator is like phase 2, and then it could be muscle builder accelerator, and then phase 4 is like the lifestyle transformation where you go over how to keep the results for life, and you actually go over that. All right, so I hope that makes sense. You go over phases. After the roadmap of the phases, all right, then you go over client results. Okay, you want to show client results in the program overview. And why we do this, we're not just like bragging, right? If you just get into the client results, they're going to be like, why are you kind of like showing this? Like, I've seen some of your results, okay? But what you want to say is, so John, I hope this makes sense so far. Now, what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to pull up a few clients that were in your position so you could get some inspiration, because it always helps with some motivation to be like, you know, if these guys can do it, John, I know you can do it as well. So this is my client Tim right here, and you're scrolling up, you're showing Tim. Tim was working like literally 60 hours per week, and he was struggling just like yourself, thought he didn't have time, but he just didn't have the right process plan or accountability. And now Tim is down 22 pounds. He feels amazing, and like you can literally see, and you could like zoom into his stomach, you could see like he's losing fat around his chest, his stomach, he feels amazing, right? So John, I want to make that same transformation for you. So show about 3 to 5 pieces of client proof, okay? And then lastly, have a success assurance plan. This is basically just a guarantee. All right, we don't say guarantee because it seems infomercial vibes. It seems like those commercials you see at 3 in the morning that are like, you could get your money back if you're not satisfied. No, call it a success assurance plan where you're assuring their success. All right, and what you could say is, all right, last thing, John, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. If you're showing up, and if you're putting in the work, and I see you're putting in the work, and you don't get the results, and you don't have a more desirable lifestyle, okay, by the end of this program, I will keep working with you at no extra charge, at no extra cost, until you do have a more desirable lifestyle and you're satisfied. Because I am so focused on my client results. That's number 1 for me. Does that make sense? And then it'll be like, yeah, so there's no risk. Okay? And something key here is I never put like a weight loss number. I don't be like, John, if you don't lose the 20 pounds in 6 months, then I'm going to keep working with you. Just because everybody's body's different. We both know as coaches, you can lose fat and build muscle. The scale's not going to change, but you look a lot different. So I say desirable lifestyle. If you don't have a more desirable lifestyle by the end of this program, I'm going to keep working with you at no extra cost until you do love your lifestyle and what you see in the mirror. All right, now that is the program overview. Coaches, you could see how this framework is very, very specific. Okay, so that's how the funnel works. That's how the funnel works, is top of funnel, you have your free content you're putting out, problem solving, storytelling, client results, and then it leads to middle of funnel, right, where you are nurturing with long form content, and then you have bottom of funnel DM process, you have the call. By the end of this, if you're following through, you will get clients, coaches, okay? You will get clients, you will have more freedom, you will increase your income. All right, you'll gain more income, and you're just gonna increase your client roster as well. And message me when you do, because we're gonna celebrate. All right, so I hope this helps. I make these videos for coaches that are driven. All right, I understand that there might be some coaches that listen, watch, maybe they zoomed out 2 minutes out of the video. They're like, yeah, whatever, this guy's blah, blah, blah. But like, I do this for the coaches that watched all the way through. You're taking notes, you're implementing, you're about to like take action on this. Like, listen, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for just like focusing up. It means a lot. All right. I try to give value, but I get value from coaches like you that put in the work. Okay. So last thing is, all right, if you do want a bit more of one-on-one help, obviously you can see these are the right frameworks. If you do follow these, you will get results. But if you really want to tighten up this whole process and make it very specific to you, so you have a predictable system that gets clients, high paying clients, every single week, there is a link in the description of this video. You can book in for a one-on-one call with me. We can see if maybe I'm a good fit to help you grow your business, get it to $10,000 per month, and scale from there. All right. But hope this helps. I appreciate you and have the best day. Talk soon.